He's doing very well.
Did a nice job actually to get it into the lane there, of course. Just holding up the GWS personnel, the number 26 BMW here this weekend. That team very experienced in endurance racing, particularly up here at Mount Panorama.
I think they were trying to motion to get that car into the garage, but obviously didn't do it. Here's a look. So we put 1 and 1 together and get 15, and the reason the HSV was spun up at the top of the mountain was because it was drilled by CXC Global Mitsubishi going down the inside. So contact, side-by-side contact, done a lot of damage to that. Really squeezed hard, so the broken windscreen would have been from the bonnet flying up when that contact broke the bonnet pins on the car. And him going down Conrod Straight, obviously the bonnet flew up in the breeze, but a lot of damage caused after what looked like pretty light contact between those two up at the elbow. That explains why the H to 5th place, just behind Terry Nightingale now.
And that's going to close up. We've got a replay here. And it looks like Coe caught the back end of it as it goes backwards towards the grass down there at the chase. But at the moment, it's Morecambe now that's moving up through the field into position number 5. The experience they both have. Unfortunately, drama's here again. It's all taking off at the moment at Mount Panorama, I tell you. The O'Donnell entry, the GWS personnel BMW, is stuck, and it looks like that could possibly be the chase. Not entirely sure. We'll get a replay of it here at the moment. That is a huge lose. My goodness me. The fastest point in Australian motorsport. And that car, and I wonder if it was possibly on the oil there, has collected the wall on driver's right. Will ultimately come to a stop here in the sand trap. But that is a major, major moment. And that car will be certainly out of the race for now, and big damage on that machine as well.
You got a feel for them too. It's the father, son and son combination. And Nick was...
and they're both drive-through penalties. And meanwhile, there's a slow HSV GDS creeping down pit straight just by the start-finish line at Mount Panorama, and that might be why there's a situation where he's got 3 wheels on his wagon. So there's an errant wheel rolling down towards the sand trap at Murray's Corner, and it's on the track. It'll get out of the way, so local yellows will cover it, and our unbelievably good volunteer officials will get that out of the way very quickly. But I'm more worried about that HSV limping. Replay turns into the corner. Watch the left rear. He's copped a hit very gently from the CXC Global Evo, but I think that wheel was going to come off whether he copped a hit or not.
That wheel was actually very well behaved, believe it or not. Went straight to the
cars. This car is currently scored 32nd overall and 5th in class, and its sister car, which is just behind with Scott Gore behind the wheel, is buried at the chase, and that I suspect may well bring out the SC boards, because I doubt they are going to get that out under its own power, and it's a dangerous spot at the end of that braking zone up the hill. We've seen plenty of cars run off, as one does right in front of our own eyes, and now if you're the leaders, you pit. You've got to get car 11 and probably 19 into the lane right now. Here's what happened. A little bit wide on turn in. Just dropped the rears off and ran the car wide and lost it under its own steam. So the leader is currently at McPhillamy Park, heading over the top of Mount Panorama. They'll have to pit this lap. Oh, no. It's got a mind of its own.
Yeah.
As long as it stays off the road.
Here's the replay again. Oh, it already come off.
Yeah, so
okay.
It was wheel off fence rather than fence wheel off. That's a big whack too. Yeah. Fortunately absorbed by the tyres, but that secondary impact into the concrete barrier dragged up a bit of the road there, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see all the tarmac
being put in around Mount Panorama? All thanks, of course, to all the governments and particularly the Bathurst Regional Council.
Here's a replay. That's a big replay too. Oh, that was almost a great replay for the Sherrans, because it almost involved a car being bogged down at turn 1.
And bringing quite a bit of rubbish onto the track there as well, onto the racing line.
Gee, they've been in the wars, haven't they? Across the course of smart decision by both parties there, I think. And David Wall is driving this car as hard as it can, but he's got one arm tied behind his back. It's the Audi R8 syndrome that we saw in the 12 hour, where they just didn't have the straight line speed to fight. Nigel Bolling watching on, contact, broken front suspension for the number 8 car. They're both in the gravel trap. That's the day done for both, and that's the race. That'll be the safety car. Michael Caine is back on the road. He's got the car going again. Has he got damage or does he not? There's surely be no, Wall's out as well. There won't be a safety car. So this will still be on. Unbelievable moment.
Look at this left front too. It's got a fair bit of camber on its toe out. In fact, on that car, it looks to be like heading up Mountain Straight there as well. So how's the drama in this race? Just on 10 minutes to go. It's certainly taken off. This is the battle for Class 1 honours for A1 this weekend. It's certainly taken off at the big point of this race. Michael Caine still pushing on, and you've got to say Wall's just in behind as well. It's the battle.
It's not done.
I know. It's the battle of who's the less wounded at the moment.
This is Days of Thunder. Two ruined racing cars just going at it at the end of the day. Eddie Mostert watching on with Barry Morecambe down at the DPO camp. They were pretty confident that they'd get a safety car, I think, and that would have ended their day with a victory. So this is where it all started at the start of the lap, and David Wall aggressive in blocking, and Michael Caine looked across at him as to like, are you serious? Is that what's going to happen? And then down under braking. Well, David Wall, the big question for race control there was Wall moving across to the right? That's the question for me. If he was moving across, that will be a no-no. If he wasn't, and it was Caine that made the contact, well, it may well just be racing incident, especially given the fact that they're still going at it across the top of the mountain. Two Wall